Welcome to the FNO InsureTech podcast, a place where movers and shakers from all points within the insurance ecosystem gather and discuss all things InsureTech. We talk about how technology and innovation are affecting and driving change in the industry. Here are your hosts, Lee Boyd and Rob Beller.
Hello, you have reached the voicemail box of FNO InsureTech. We are currently celebrating our 200th episode. Please leave your name and a brief message, and we will get back to you as soon as we can. Thank you.
This is Dan Woods, CEO of Socotra. Congratulations, Robin Lee and crew, on your 200th episode. It was great being part of it, and I hope to come back and join you in the next 200.
You know, sometimes they wake me up early in the morning to do a podcast. It doesn't happen often. Usually we do podcasts in the afternoon or the late morning afternoon Pacific time. But today I got woken up out of a sound sleep so that we could do, that's right, wait for it, the 200th episode of FNO InsureTech. Wow. This is it. Here we are.
In all fairness, Rob, it is 8 o'clock where you are. That's middle of the day.
Lee, you know, have you read any of the latest research? You need a lot of sleep.
Yeah, I do. Why don't you go to bed early?
I did go to bed early.
Well, then you got plenty of sleep.
Sometimes 11 hours isn't enough for me.
Well, Rob, we're so glad you made it. This is a big deal.
I'm so glad to be here. I have my coffee.
Good. I already drank mine. I'm out.
I threw the cats outside and we're ready to go. Welcome, everybody, to the 200th episode of FNO InsureTech. Who in the world between us would have ever thought that that's a phrase that we would be saying, right?
Nobody ever. I mean, whenever we thought about this before we started, we thought maybe if we could do 5.
I distinctly remember thinking, I bet we can do 10.
Yeah.
And that there's enough content and people to do 10.
Yeah. But then after 10, what in the heck are we going to talk about?
What? And you know what? People that listen to us regularly, when they tune in, they're wondering the same thing.
What the heck are they talking about?
Why are they talking? Why don't they be quiet?
This has been a long road. We have been jibber jabbering on this thing for many years.
That's true. That's true. And we'll tell you the story real quick of what happened.
That'd be great. Why don't you tell it?
Hey guys, this is Ali Safavi, CEO of Kovu. Thank you for having me twice now on your podcast. This is your 200th episode. It's like such a phenomenal milestone to hit. I can't believe it's been now almost 4 years that you guys got started. So big congrats, big milestone. Hopefully a lot more to come. And I really, really look forward to my smoking jacket. So I'm waiting for the other 3 invites, guys. I'm just waiting here. So whenever you're ready. Thanks, and congrats again, and best of luck with all the future episodes.
As some of you know, many of you know, our regular listeners know that I'm the cute one and Lee's the smart one. And so what happened was, which is particularly funny because this is an audio only
That's right.
podcast.
Only with those weird, creepy caricatures out there.
That you have nightmares about. But I'm not the youngest person. I'm an old guy. And so I'm not as into some of the new age things that are out there, like deep into social media and other things like that. Like my kids are, like Lee is, etc.
Yeah.
And so I became very interested in the concept of influencers. What do you mean you can be an influential person?
Yeah.
But there's nothing substantive about you, right? Like,
yeah.
Like
you were blown away by this idea. You're like, what do you mean you can just
remember?
Influence? What?
I mean, like when I was a kid, if you were a PhD in nuclear physics or something, right? You could be an influencer because you were a politician or a doctor or an intellectual.
Yeah.
But it turned out that if you had a big butt, you could be an influential person, right?
Okay.
And am I wrong about that?
No,
I think there's
I don't know how to comment on
proof.
that.
I think there's lots of proof for that on the internet.
So you could influence for a myriad of different reasons.
So I thought to myself, how could we were both working at a different company then, could we be influential since the credential to be influential is almost nothing, right?
Yeah, it's a very low bar.
Dance well, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So Matt Fothery, who was my partner and our CEO then,
yeah,
I went to Matt and I said, hey, I have this idea. Why don't we try to make Lee into an influencer? He immediately didn't like the idea.
Immediately, absolutely not.
I mean, he didn't even need to think about it. And so he asked me to tell him about it. And I said, why don't we do a podcast?
A pod.
To which I think he said, no one listens to podcasts. Yeah. And I said, no, I'm going to make a podcast that just no one's going to listen to our podcast.
Right.
And I said, we'll put Lee on a podcast and we'll get him guests and we'll use it as a marketing device for our company.
Yeah.
And because he didn't like to say no to me generally, he let me run with it. And we found a producer.
Yeah. Out of California.
Danny Luber, through the help of one of my kids. And we thought about who the hell would be a guest on it. And we found a couple first guests.
Yeah.
And then Lee begged me to be his co-host. I think that's fair to say. He's like, oh no, don't make me do this by myself. We need a cute one on the podcast.
That sounds like something that I would say.
Doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
And so out of that, with the help of people like Caribou Honig, Dan Moore, John Hall, Brett Goldberg, they were willing to be on a podcast that hadn't even had an episode put on yet.
No audience, hadn't even been produced. They were willing to come on and talk.
Hadn't even been proven that anyone would listen to it. And 200 episodes later. And so we recorded. Each one was technologically horrible. Remember?
I think that first one was done with our iPhone.
Was it? I think you're right.
Yeah, I think the first one was done. I put the iPhone. We did it in person. I had the iPhone down, and I think we did, a Welcome to F&O podcast.
Yeah.
And it was with the iPhone. We sent it off to California.
Yeah.
He produced it, and we're like, okay.
And anyways, we put 4 in the bank because we thought we need 4 because it's going to be so hard to find guests.
Right.
And we launched it. And that was like the 1st of January, approximately, 2019. So we worked on this for many months in 2018, putting this together and trying to make it happen.
There was a lot of talking.
We started from zero. We had no idea how to do a podcast. It can still be argued today that we have no idea how to do a podcast.
I don't think I'd even listened to a podcast before that.
So in the beginning, we thought 10. I thought 10. If we can do 10, what if we could do 20? And then I thought to myself, what if we could get 1,000 downloads?
Right.
1,000.
1,000 listens.
It'd be unbelievable.
In a small little world that we live in.
Right. I mean, we're doing a podcast for a niche that in terms of the world doesn't even register.
A niche within a niche. It's not about insurance. It's about technology within the insurance.
Correct. And then the reason that we chose InsureTech, we both have worked in the insurance industry for most of our careers. And we became very interested in this InsureTech thing. And what do you think it's going to do? Is it really going to take over insurance? Is it going to obsolete insurance as we know it?
Yeah. Or even what the heck is it? Yeah.
And so with those couple of yo-yo things in mind, we embarked on this journey.
And what a journey it's been.
19, 20, 21, 22. I mean, it's been 4 years of episodes.
That's a long time.
We were looking at the 200 episode list before we started today, and it's just an unbelievable who's who of luminaries from this niche inside of a niche.
It is insane whenever you go back and look. I'm looking here at people we interviewed back in 2019 who are just all over it right now. Like they're making waves. They're out there. I mean,
and many, for whatever reason, no longer around, no longer here.
There are some who are no longer. There are some who have taken different jobs. Right? We discovered one the other day that we had interviewed a year or two ago, and now they had this really big, cool job. They went from an insurance carrier to a technology to run insurance. And I thought that was fascinating.
I mean, there's people on here that I was so excited when we got them, when we found them and they agreed to be on the podcast, that I was nervous as all get out.
I like those whenever you're all nervous and
yeah. And that
I don't get to see Rob nervous that often, but sometimes when a guest comes on and you're like, this is a big deal. I'm like, I don't know. I guess
you get to see me nervy, but not nervous.
I don't know what nerdy is.
Anyways, that's the story. And that's how we got here. It was an accident. But we intended for it to last for a few minutes, and it's lasted for 4 years. And it's been one of the clearly biggest pleasures that we've had professionally. I'll speak for myself.
No, you can speak for me on that. I agree.
Hello, this is Andy Cohen, the president of Snapsheet. I wanted to send a huge congratulations to Lee and Rob, or Rob and Lee, so I didn't name one of you first, on your 200th podcast, which is truly incredible. You guys have done a lot for the InsureTech community to give a voice to the companies, the founders, the teams that are really spending time trying to make the insurance industry better for everyone. Really enjoy the content you guys have created and enjoyed being a guest. And I think our company's been a guest 4 or 5 times, and we'd love to do it as many times as you'll have us. And congratulations on your 200th, and looking forward to the next 200.
We've both been involved in many different things professionally within our industry, but this has been certainly one of the most gratifying and interesting, and it's opened a door to meeting so many of you,
right,
who listen to us and stay in touch with us. I mean, I'm looking at this list. It's just an amazing list of people. The first time we had on Caribou, which was one of our first 4 episodes.
Yeah, he said yes.
Thank you, Caribou. Yeah.
Thank you.
Caribou's a yes person. He's a terrific soul. And I hope your ankle's better, Caribou. And he used the term ecosystem. Remember that? Mm-hmm. That was the first time that we heard him talking. And he just throwing it out, the InsureTech ecosystem. And I mean, we were so neophyte. I didn't even know what he was referring to.
Yeah. But it opened the world.
Yeah, that's right. And that's when we learned that this thing is so big. And so we've had guests from every corner of the globe, right? Every continent, I believe, with maybe except Antarctica.
Yeah, where people live.
Yeah, every continent where people live, we've had guests on. And it's been a tremendous pleasure. And we've had tremendous support from people like Alicia Moss.
Right.
Who doesn't always like to be around during episodes when episodes are being recorded.
One time.
No, that's not true. That's not true. Our content producer, who's the person in charge of making sure that people are there for the recording at the date and time, which I want you to know is very hard. And she doesn't even come anymore. She's like, too busy. She's busy. She's out running around.
But think about all the work that's gone into it to get these guests, to get them to sign up. I mean, only one time has somebody clicked off too early and we lost it in all these episodes.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, there's a lot of work that goes into this. And normally me and Rob are just showing up to this thing.
Totally. And I know it sounds that way. No, no one who listens to our podcast is surprised by that.
No, but you think about all the notes that get prepared, all the interviews that we get to listen to before so that we're prepared. We couldn't do it without our team.
Alicia does all the prep, all the research, communicates with the people. They know by the time they know their people. We have a lot of their people. Many of our guests have people.
Yeah,
right?
They have people.
And their people show up and are there for the podcast, even when Alicia's not. And a great big thank you goes out to Alacrity Solutions.
Yeah.
Our sponsor, who not only sponsors us, but lets us run and do whatever we want to do here.
Run wild and free.
Pretty much. Yeah.
No, it's been a blessing to be able to do this and to have the support to go out there, find the guest, and to try to bring knowledge to the space. I mean, everyone listens to this. It's not for the jokes that we tell. They all come here to learn something. And hopefully that works. Hopefully people are learning and they're able to gain knowledge. I have a discussion next week with somebody, and I went back and listened to an old podcast just to learn about it. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of people do that.
Yeah. Somebody said to me a few years ago, do you guys realize how much content you have here? And that's when it kind of hit me that, oh yeah, we have a lot of information. It is a library of, it's not only documenting where things are in time, but also a lot of just straight up information about people and the companies that they run. Yeah. And I mean, we've had so many CEOs on, so many innovators, so many characters.
Yeah.
Right. I think of Henriette from Hosta.
Love her. Yeah.
Who is
Rochelle. Oh man. Whew.
Yeah. Yeah. In fact, I saw her recently, and those are two super hardworking people who have an amazing idea, and I'm sure will do great. I mean, you go down the list. I have to shout out Charlie Wendland only because you owe me, Charlie. You owe me. Jay and Caribou.
Man, couldn't thank those guys enough for being on and giving us their time year after year, sometimes twice in a year, to come sit down with us.
Huge guys, huge luminaries in our industry. I mean, the list is too long. Mike Fulton.
Oh, every time we go to Elevate, Mike takes time. Even when it was virtual, he still took the time to sit down with us. And it is one of the best conversations that we have every year. He is such a wonderful guest and wonderful friend to have on.
And some companies that have been tremendous. How about Hippo?
5-6 times to come on to share news on here. All those folks. Oh, it's been great to get to know them.
When you talk about characters, how about Andy Cohen?
Andy, yes. He is a guy who is making a difference in the InsureTech space. Him and his team. I don't know how many times they've been on, Snapsheet's been on, but Andy Cohen, one of my favorites.
And here's an all-time favorite episode. This was right at the beginning of COVID.
Yeah.
We had on, because the world was collapsing, remember?
I did.
And we had on Caribou Honig and Martha.
Oh, that was a good one. That was a really smart podcast.
Martha Notaras.
That was some amazing people sitting around, and we were listening.
That's when Martha Notaras speaks, that's when you realize you don't know much.
Yeah.
There's people out there that know a ton. She's one of them. Super generous, been on a few times.
Giving us some guests, giving us some people to be on.
And then we have some like regular yo-yos who join us.
Yeah.
Right? Like, of course, the first one, I think the winner of the FNO InsureTech smoking jacket for the most visits, is that Caitlin Johnson?
She's pretty high up there, and I would have her on again tomorrow.
Managing director at AmFam Ventures.
It's a shame that it takes her to have a baby to come on, but I would have her on in a heartbeat. I love visiting with her.
As soon as she's pregnant and about to give birth again, we'll have her on. I mean, we've had so many C-level people there's just too many to talk about. But we've also had on tons of industry people from the carrier side. We've had on Theresa Young. We've had on Claudia Rodriguez.
We just had on Adam.
We just had on Adam Kostecki. So when Lee and I make it out into public, a conference or whatnot, it's now so gratifying because person after person after person will let us know that they listened to us or that they enjoyed being on our podcast.
And what happened when they were on the podcast? They were like, yeah, so-and-so found me because of it. It's kind of like the spider web that happens, right? It goes out, and we don't always get to see, but whenever we go to a conference, we get to hear about how people use the podcast for their own good or research or whatever. It's awesome.
We even had a mini series.
We did a mini series.
We did a mini series on women in InsureTech.
We did. Jen Byrne, us, Caitlin Johnson was on that one. She was on one of the ones. That was, what was that, a three or 4 part series?
Yeah.
4-part series?
Yeah, that was terrific.
I would do another mini series. If anybody has any ideas out there, let us know.
Hi, Rob. Hi, Lee. This is Caribou Honig. Congratulations on the 200th episode of your podcast. That's amazing. I actually just looked on the website to see what podcast episodes I was involved in. I'm actually going to take a lot of pride in being episode number 3, although I will point out that while you've had me on a number of other episodes, that was the only one where you actually had me solo. So I'm going to take a little bit of the feedback there that I seem to be better for you when in smaller doses, when I'm diluted with other people. Again, congrats on that. And with 200 episodes under your belt, it feels like this is your own kind of third act, which is just fantastic. Be well.
And that's another thing is our audience. Our audience is quietly larger than we realize. And I've learned it this year. This fall, I've had the opportunity to go to many conferences.
Yeah, you've been gone a lot.
And the number of people who have approached me about our podcast has really let me know. I mean, we know how many downloads we've had, and we've had a ton of, we've had more downloads than we could have ever dreamt of.
Yeah.
And people hear it. And the audience drives this. The audience matters. They don't communicate to us as much as we might like.
No. I don't get a lot of emails from them. But when I do, we appreciate it.
No emails. But we can't talk about our audience without talking about our vast pool of groupie.
Yeah, she's awesome.
We, as we've told you many times, there is an FNO InsureTech groupie.
Yeah. And what a next level human she is. Whenever I got to meet her at ITC, I didn't know there was somebody like her out there. We are so happy and proud to have her listening to us on Friday nights.
Astrid is the CEO and founder of Strat Maven. Most of you know who Astrid is. And you know her because she's brilliant. And she's
next level brilliant.
First of all, she knows everybody. Second of all, she knows as much as there is to know in this industry. And her ideas and her thinking are next level, like Lee said. And people from all points of this ecosystem seek out her services, and seek her out for her thinking. So to have her as a counselor to us is an incredible honor.
It is. I think back to the 1 hour lunch that we had with her and how she expanded my mind within that 1 hour to think I can be so much more than I am now. And there's so much more out there. Just 1 hour with her. I've been blessed to have her listening.
Hi, Robin Lee. This is Astrid, your number 1 fan, your number 1 groupie. Congratulations on making it to 200 episodes of FNO InsureTech. But most importantly, thank you to you and your amazing guests for allowing me to learn about an industry that I'm so passionate about, and doing so while having a ton of fun with the two of you. Here's to another 200 episodes and beyond. Congrats again, guys, and keep up the great work.
So there's only one thank you that's left to give for all this, and that's to Lee Boyd. little Lee Boyd, who came in as into this as the kid, but now is like, the number one seat in this thing. So thanks, Lee. It wouldn't have happened without you. And especially, I dare say that there's no one else on this earth that could have put up with me for 200 episodes.
Man, 200 episodes is a lot. 4 years of Rob Beller. But I've got to say, whenever I went on this journey, when I started, I thought, I like Rob. He's a neat guy. I'm sure this will be fine. I never in a million years thought that I would be where I am today because of all of the conversations and all of the doors that you have opened to me, right? Everyone listens to this podcast and they hear it. What I get is the pre-discussion and the post-talks after the podcast from you and all the wisdom that you share pre and post. And I think that's what's the most important to me. And the friendship that we've gained has just been amazing. But what you've taught me is not to think like peanuts, right? You've taught me to think big. You think like peanuts, you're going to get peanuts. So think big. And that's what we did with this podcast. Yep. That's what you did. That's what your vision was. You thought big, and I thought, nah, man, there's no way. Nobody's going to listen to this thing. You're like, no. If you think big, it'll happen.
So just wait for 400.
Whoa.
Just wait. And the biggest thank you, as we try to do every time, goes out to our audience, because it ain't nothing without you. So thank you for listening and being here. And we'll say to you what we say every single time.
Goodbye, everybody.